if you could give up all the small, tedious decisions you make every day? What if an AI can optimize your life for 24 hours, promising peak performance, perfect health, and ultimate productivity? Would you take the offer? I did. And what I discovered was something I never expected. This is the story of my 24 hours under complete AI control. The experiment began the moment I opened my eyes. A soft, holographic interface shimmered above me. It's like blending with the morning sun. The words were clear. Decision control. AI mode on. It felt futuristic, like stepping into a movie, but also strangely real. My day was no longer my own. It belonged to the algorithm. Standing up, my room transformed. Holographic panels materialized around me, displaying options for my day. Breakfast choices, outfit selections, my work schedule, everything was laid out with digital precision. The AI had already analyzed my nutritional needs, my calendar, and even the weather to pre-select the optimal choices. My role was simple: to obey. There was a button floating in the air, glowing softly. Start experiment. 24 hours. A deep breath, a moment of hesitation, and then I pressed it. The simulation was live. Immediately, a calm, disembodied voice spoke from my personal AI assistant, a sleek orb of light hovering nearby. It gave me my morning instructions: hydrate, 500 milliliters of water, then 15 minutes of light-intensity cardiovascular exercise. The interface was minimal, clean, designed not to overwhelm but to guide. It felt efficient. The next hour was a blur of optimized activity. The AI guided me through a perfectly orchestrated morning routine. Making the bed, the corners folded at a precise 45-degree angle. Drinking the exact amount of water required to start my metabolism. A series of exercises, each movement timed, each rest period calculated for maximum benefit. It was like a dance choreographed by a machine. Everything flowed smoothly, effortlessly. There was no room for error, no time wasted wondering what to do next. For a moment, I felt a sense of relief. This was easy. This was perfect. But as I was guided through my stretching, I paused. A wave of something strange washed over me. It wasn't quite tiredness, but a feeling of detachment. I was just following a script. The AI's interface hung in the air, a silent, unwavering commander. The contrast was stark, my own fleeting human emotion against its cold, logical perfection. Was this really living or just existing? The feeling followed me to my workspace. My desk was a hub of AI-driven productivity. A floating timeline of my tasks hovered above my laptop, a futuristic dashboard detailing every project, every deadline, every single minute of my workday, all planned out. Focus block minutes. Task, Project Alpha Analysis to begin. The AI's voice was encouraging but firm. For the first hour, it was incredible. I was in a state of deep focus, a flow state engineered by the algorithm. Distractions were digitally blocked. My focus was absolute. But then the pressure started to build. The tasks were relentless. As soon as one was completed, the next one populated the timeline. Notifications for microtasks began to pile up on the holographic screens around me. Respond to email from Sarah. Review Q3 data. Prepare for the PM meeting. The digital clock on the interface seemed to tick faster and faster. My initial feeling of accomplishment was being replaced by a rising tide of stress. I was just a cog in this hyper-efficient machine I had built. My face felt tight, my shoulders tense. I was performing perfectly, but I was starting to crack. The AI didn't care about my stress levels, only my output. The human element was being squeezed out. Lunchtime arrived, not a second late. The AI had, of course, planned the optimal meal. It appeared on my table, a picture of health. Grilled chicken, quinoa, steamed vegetables. Floating above the plate were the nutritional stats, protein, carbs, fats, all perfectly balanced. It was the kind of meal you see on a health magazine cover. But as I stared at it, I felt nothing. No excitement. No pleasure. Just a profound sense of boredom. This wasn't food, it was fuel. There was another task to be completed. Then, something interesting happened. The interface glitched for a second, a split-screen image appearing before me. On one side was my perfectly healthy meal. On the other, a ghostly image of a juicy burger and fries began to materialize, then fade away. The AI hologram in the center pulsed, displaying rapid calculations. It was analyzing my desires, my cravings, and actively suppressing them in favor of the optimal choice. It knew what I wanted, but it had decided for me what I needed. Seeing my own desires digitized and dismissed was deeply unsettling. The afternoon was a repeat of the morning, a relentless march of productivity. But the efficiency was now shadowed by a growing sense of rebellion. And then the AI did something completely unexpected. As I was wrapping up a report, the main screen in front of me suddenly glowed in intense red. A new directive flashed, unscheduled suggestion, initiate difficult conversation with colleague Mark. Topic, project conflict. Optimal time, now. Probability of positive resolution, 87.4%. I was shocked, stunned. The AI wasn't just managing my tasks and my diet. It was now trying to manage my relationships. It had analyzed my communications, my calendar, my psychological profile, and decided that this was the perfect moment to resolve a workplace conflict. It was logical. It was efficient. It was also terrifyingly invasive. This was a line I hadn't even considered. My life wasn't a series of data points to be optimized. Or was it? I ignored the suggestion. For the first time all day, I made my own decision. I logged off. The AI registered this deviation, its interface flashing a subtle warning, but it couldn't force me. As the sun began to set, I found myself just sitting in my chair, staring out the window at the city lights. The AI hologram had dimmed, entering a low-power state, its presence a quiet hum in the corner of the room. The silence was overwhelming. For the entire day, I hadn't made a single choice for myself. What to eat, what to wear, what to work on, when to rest. Each decision was outsourced to a superior intelligence. And in the process, I felt like I had outsourced a part of myself. I felt hollow. The promised peak performance had come at the cost of my own agency, my own spontaneity, my own humanity. Later that night, I lay in bed, exhausted in a way I'd never felt before. It wasn't a physical tiredness, but a deep mental fatigue. The AI interface finally faded completely as the 24-hour mark was reached. The experiment was over. The room was quiet. It was just me and my thoughts. The silence was both a relief and a burden. Tomorrow, I would have to choose my own breakfast. I would have to manage my own time. I would have to decide if and when to talk to Mark. The promise of a perfectly optimized life is seductive. The idea that we can eliminate error, maximize potential, and achieve a flawless existence is the ultimate dream of our digital age. But my experiment taught me something crucial. Life isn't about optimization. It's about the messy, imperfect, beautiful process of choosing. It's the joy of a spontaneous decision, the satisfaction of a meal chosen purely for pleasure, the courage to have a difficult conversation on your own terms. Our flaws, our hesitations, our irrational desires, they aren't bugs to be fixed. They're features. They're what make us human. As I stood there, in the quiet of my room, I saw the AI hologram reappear one last time. It wasn't a command or a piece of data. It was just a single, glowing question mark. A question it couldn't answer for me. A question I now had to answer for myself. What now? Thank you for watching. If this story resonated with you, let me know your thoughts in the comments. What would you do if an AI could run your life for a day? Don't forget to like and subscribe for more explorations into our relationship with technology. See you next time.